Sorry about that. Thank you, Madam Chair, Mr. Moore. My name is Sandy Hawley, and I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to speak to you on behalf of the racing industry across Canada. I was a professional thoroughbred jockey for 30 years, starting at the age of 19 years old. I rode around the world, but mostly in Canada and the United States. I have been lucky enough to receive a number of awards throughout my career, including the Order of Canada. I'm also a member of the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame, U.S. Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fames, and also it was a great honor to receive the Lou Marsh Award as Canada's Athlete of the Year in 1973 and 76. I'm speaking before you today from my winter residence, which happens to be one of the most historic racing jurisdictions in the world, Kentucky, home of the Kentucky Derby. Despite its rich history, racing here in Kentucky has also faced its challenges recently, but the industry now has a positive outlook thanks to historical horse racing, which may single-handedly save the industry. Horse racing has provided me the opportunity to race around the world and ended up meeting my lovely wife, Carew, who is also a thoroughbred jockey. As you can see, horse racing has been very good to me, and it's an industry that contributes $5.7 billion to the Canadian economy each year, and it supports over 50,000 jobs across Canada. These jobs depend on revenue from pari-mutuel wagering and on the horse racing industry. The revenue from and secures many people's incomes, jobs, livelihoods, such as grooms, hot walkers, trainers, owners, blacksmiths, veterinarians, agriculture workers, and jockeys, just to name a few. There is a deep history and tradition to Canadian horse racing. In fact, just a few years ago, the Canadian horse industry celebrated its 250th anniversary. I understand the world is changing and sports betting happens all around the world. Although I'm not an expert in this area, it seems like it makes sense to legalize it so the government can regulate it and use it to create jobs and generate revenue. I am in favor of single sports betting, but if not done correctly, it could be devastating to our industry and the many jobs within the agriculture and rural communities. I've always been very proud of Canadian horse racing, notably Woodbine Racetrack, where I rode my first race back in 1968. Horsemen from around the world love to come to race at Woodbine Racetrack for its beautiful facility and hospitality. I've also worked for Woodbine Entertainment for the last 25 years since I retired from my riding career as an ambassador in media and media relations and continue to do so. I mentioned earlier that I spend my winters here in Lexington, Kentucky, where historical horse racing, whereby a wager can be made on an anonymous race that happened in the past. Basically, it's the same thing as wagering on a live race, but instead, there's no need of operating a live race. It uses thousands of anonymous races from the past, which probably include a few of mine, and offer it as a wagering experience for the customer. Then, similar to betting on a live race, some of the money is given back to the industry to help sustain it. Historical horse racing has literally been the savior for horse racing in Kentucky, and I strongly believe historical horse racing can have some profound impact here in Canada. I'm counting on the government to recognize the industry, its hardworking people, its value, and make the right decision on the amendment of Bill C-218, so that betting on horse racing would be excluded. Because without the exclusion, it would kill the revenue string that supports the sport, all the people, and the business that depend on it. Just for instance, it almost would be like trying to drive an automobile without gas or a battery. On behalf of the entire industry, I'm asking this committee to ensure that horse racing has an opportunity not only to survive, but thrive for another 250 years, as it continues to be an important part of so many daily lives as it has been to mine. Thank you for your